Okay, just doing super quick recording of the VR rope I created and some kind of springy stuff over there. So what we have going on here is the VR rope. You can interact with it. It's completely grabbable and it behaves in a fairly rope-like manner, maybe a little bit of a stiff rope. I didn't really bother dealing with a mesh render. This is just a line render right now. Essentially, you can see the node up top. There's a bunch of nodes that are invisible that run through it. Those nodes have a grab interactable script. They're connected to each other with configurable joints. And then I ran a line render that runs through it with updating the position on each frame. So it actually kind of looks like a rope and you can grab it and move it around. So if you were to play around with this, the next step would be to do a mesh render instead of a line render, which will give you a few more polys. And if you kind of try to look at it from the angle from the side, or like walk around it to the side, it looks a little weird. If you see like right at the top, you can see where it looks a little weird right there. Um, but even just like a mesh, I mean, just a texture material that looked like a rope would even be beneficial. But up there, it would still look weird. So definitely having a couple extra polys would be fun and make sense. I just didn't want to do the math. But otherwise, it looks pretty good and feels pretty good. And you can grab it and the rope kind of swinging around and it seems to behave more or less how you would expect a rope to behave. Over here was maybe slightly less successful component here, but essentially we've got this giant ball. Each of these are connected to each other, and there's a lot more springiness to it. There's no line renders, so you can just see the individual nodes, and there's no stiffness in this, so it's not like it holds up. It's kind of more like I don't know, like a springy ball and chain. And so you can start to see just how configurable these configurable joints really are. So each one is configured to connect to the previous one. That's kind of fun. And that's it for this. That's it for this VR rope, and kind of slight failure over there, and a little bit of a view into configurable joints.